in the backdrop of a lot of incidents, sir, and this is not just a very recent one, it's been happening that time and again, people, common people, YouTubers, social media activists, and whatever way you want to call them, have in different states of different political parties. Here we will not be talking of politics, but just to make the issue clearer to all, that people have been arrested. Different state police have arrested people at different points in time. Now, how do you see that from a legal point of view, sir? Are they right? Are they wrong? Because everybody seems to have a point of view, and it all depends on what point of view you are looking things at.
Yes, one finds a lot of these, news in the papers and the television. A lot of these cases have come from West Bengal, from Kerala, from Maharashtra, and other parts of the country. I'm not taking a political position.
Yes.
Let me give you my legal perspective. First of all, the police in India is still suffering from a colonial hangover. Now, Ajay, I'm not saying this. The Supreme Court has said it time and again that the police in India is still suffering from a colonial mindset. Now, therefore, when these cases go to the police station, the police is not able to draw the Laxman Rekha between free speech and hate speech.
Okay.
As I said earlier, it is very subjective at times. The police does not have a constitutional mindset to understand the ambit of free speech and to draw that line between hate speech and free speech. Therefore, these FIRs are registered indiscriminately. And using the colonial mindset, arrest becomes a part of that criminal investigation. So that is why you find so many of these cases coming out in the media and going to the courts. So we need checks and balances in the criminal justice system.
Right.
So that innocents are not arrested. And so some of those checks and balances which come to my mind are, before an FIR is registered, there should be a preliminary inquiry to find out whether the speech in question is falling within the ambit of free speech or hate speech. Another reform which comes to my mind after 3 decades of experience on the criminal side, that the lawmakers must bring in a law that wherever the allegations pertain to speech-related offenses, hate speech, the accused will not be arrested. He will be given 2 weeks' time to obtain a protection order from the competent court of law, so that there is protection. He has an opportunity to move the court, seek anticipatory bail, and if he is unable to secure that order, then the police gets that legitimate license to arrest the accused. So these are some of the checks and balances we require in the system. I must add one thing. The magistracy in the country, the magistrates, they must rise to the occasion. Because when an accused is arrested, he is first produced within 24 hours before the nearest magistrate. So the magistracy of the country needs to be sensitized as to the broad ambit of free speech and whether the Lakshman Rekha has been crossed or not. So the magistrate must come to that conclusion whether the arrest is lawful, legitimate, is it governed by necessity, so that we can nip the problem in the bud. The moment a man is arrested, produced before the magistrate, and the magistrate comes to the conclusion that this falls within the ambit of free speech, he should be immediately released from custody. So the onus lies on the police and the magistrates, in my view.
I guess it is more to do with the system. Earlier on, if you'd say something on the face of anybody, it would not have that disastrous impact on anybody from both sides. But the same thing, if it goes online, then the whole perception changes, I guess.
Yes. So, Ajay, the media was very limited in the pre-internet era. You had only newspapers, books, magazines, television, and cinema. Today, every citizen on the planet has a global television channel, a live global television channel 24/7, on which he can say anything to anybody on any subject whatsoever. And the audience is global. So the media has multiplied millions of times when you compare it to the pre-internet era. So therefore, when the medium of expression multiplies by millions of times, so the hate speech content has also increased. So we are feeling as if there is a spurt in these kinds of cases. It is because of the democratic nature of the social media that promotes free speech, that also promotes hate speech. So you have to protect the free speech and penalize the hate speech, draw the Laxman Rekha between the two.
Right, sir. Very quickly, as my last question, sir, that how does a common man know? Because there have been cases that you don't write anything, somebody else you know or don't know, and you have just liked that piece of thing, you become a part of that so-called crime. How does one conduct in these times from a common man's perspective?
In my view, freedom of speech and expression is very much alive in India. It is very much there in the country. Yes, there is no reason to be scared of anything. Please express yourself freely. Please speak with all the freedom at your command. Just because you see some people being arrested, you read that in the newspapers, it is no reason to be scared of. Ajay, we have millions of WhatsApp networks, we have Instagram, we have Facebook. So freedom of speech is vibrant in India, I say. It is not under any threat. These cases are aberrations. They are an infinitesimal fraction of these free speech that is being exercised by the citizens of India. So there's no reason for any citizen to be scared of any action from the police.
Right. As long as free speech does not start
as long as you
moving
don't
beyond.
cross
Yes.
as long as you don't cross the Laxman Rekha.
Absolutely. Right, sir. With this, it's a wrap on this special edition of the 7 Minutes with Vivek Sood. Thank you very much, sir.